Okay, so I'm going to try something different. I've noticed on my, I can't look at the camera. I'm too terrified of it, and I see my dead face. It's too much. Try something different because I've noticed on BookTube and YouTube that the term tropey comes up, and people use it almost as a negative when they're incorrect. See, a trope isn't inherently negative. A trope is simply a convention or device in storytelling that's easily recognised. And I guess because whether people want to accept it or not, we are all deconstructionists now. When we can identify them, we somehow think that that lessens our enjoyment, but it doesn't. See, every story is built on these devices, and the key is how you change them up, how you make them different, how you make them interesting. What you want to avoid is a cliche, and a cliche is when that storytelling device or convention is overused, and that's the only difference. It's the only difference. So today I'm going to talk about the chosen one trope. Chosen one trope is simply that there is one character. It's usually the main character when it comes to fantasy. I've found who is that's it. They're chosen. They're going to win. They're the hero. They're the main character, not only in their story but in everyone's story. And that's it. We're going to follow them. They're going to become more and more powerful. They're going to start off low, but at the end they will be toppling empires. And the idea is that we're rooting for it because they're fighting evil, and that's fine. Fantasy is by and large is that it's a power fantasy, and these characters are inherently good. Like the universes of fantasy are usually like black and white. That's why you can have a dark lord who just wants power and darkness. Weirdly, but the idea of a chosen one coming along actually shakes that up a little bit because it says not only is the universe not binary, it is determinist. They are going to win. You are going to lose. And it puts everyone in suffering in pretty bad context that it's all worth it for one person to be this anointed being from on high that is going to save everybody. Now, some people are fine with that, it's not a big deal. But what I've noticed is that the chosen one trope only really started showing up in fiction when the advent of monotheism came around. And monotheism is that there's a singular godhead. In Christianity, it's Yahweh. Although I guess, well, the Abrahamic religions are all based on the same core. So your Islam, Judaism, and the sects of Christianity are there are sects of Islam and Judaism too. I know, but Christianity's got them beat. There's hundreds, thousands even of sects of Christianity. None of them can agree on anything except that Jesus is all right. But the idea is that there's one Godhead. They will have a Messiah figure that is going to come and save everybody. And basically, here on Earth, we're all playing the waiting game for them to come back. And some people find it comforting, some people don't. I'm personally indifferent. I don't really care. But what is interesting is that it counterpoints to pantheism. Now, pantheism is whole councils of gods. You can look at like the really lame ones that Hollywood's interested in, like Norse mythology. But Sioux, as in the Native American Sioux, had this incredible pantheon that was really interesting. There's also the Japanese Shinto stuff. There was at one point the Maya and Aztec had some incredible myths, but they never had this chosen one. There was always like anointed, important, powerful people, but there wasn't this idea of one singular, all-powerful being. There was always a way to usurp them, or they always had downfalls. They weren't just the be-all and end-all. They weren't the one on high, and that I think translates better into all fiction anyway. It's the idea that power is on a scale and that everyone is on that scale. A chosen one, however, beats that because even when they're here on power, fate has determined that they will be up here. You can't see it. There we go. Right at the forehead line. And that sucks. I think the chosen one is basically, it is no cliche. If I ever read or see anything that has got prophecy, I roll my eyes into the back of my head. can then see my grey matter. I can see the bits of, I can see the ruined bits of just nonsense knowledge in here, clogging up the brain, because it ruins all narrative tension. There are ways to flip it on its head that some have done, but yeah, usually if your main character is the one, there's no narrative stakes. There's a little bit of narrative stakes when the one is a secondary character or a tertiary character that your protagonist has to find. But even then, they're basically just a nice hat. The chosen one then becomes a MacGuffin. They just become an object. And there's probably ways to do it better, but overall, any fiction, don't have someone anointed. Have someone that comes into that position for happenstance or working hard, but also always end on a downer note, because that's the best fiction. As we all know, fiction that bums you out is the best fiction. And like format these a bit better. This one's a bit rushed because I'm leaving in 5 minutes. So if you need some more information on tropes, just like a better understanding of them, look up ideally like any university cited sites. But if you want to waste hours of your life, not doing ketamine but falling into a K-hole, go on TV Tropes. TV Tropes is so fun, and it just has got reams and reams of any kind of media, and it just breaks down all these conventions and explains them. And it's like a shameful admission, but I love it. TV Tropes is great. I can't wait to format this though, because in the YouTube processing, I'll be like, is this video for children? Mentioned ketamine twice. No. So that'll be me. I might try and read something before the month is over, something small, and try and get a review out in time. So that's me. Thank you, and we'll have a look at, I don't know, I'll have to really think on what tropes I like. Maybe the Showdown, because I actually love the Showdown.